For everything that I really like about Gen 5, there's other things I really don't like. It's a game of extremes. It's a game of really great Pokemon design and really bad Pokemon design mishmashed together. They really tried to do a lot of crazy things in it, and like half of it landed and half of it really missed. So it's really hard to nail down my feelings on Gen 5. In general, I think it's a well-made generation. People are way too defensive about it, but some people are also way too mean about it, so I guess I can see that. Could you do top 10s? Not really my thing. I'm too indecisive for top 10s. I did a top 5 my favorite games a few years ago, and I like that video. And some of that list is still right, but even in the video I said, I'm indecisive, this list will change. My top favorite game and second favorite game are still the same as back then. My favorite game is Evil Genius, my second favorite game is Deadly Premonition, and I've Let's Played both of those, by the way. In fact, Deadly Premonition I did a 100% Let's Play of very recently, and it's one of my favorite Let's Plays I've ever done. I really highly recommend that one. Can I safely get to town without fighting another trainer? Yes, I should have just done that before. Well, let's get some levels. You asked me what I'm doing later. I'm actually thinking about streaming a new Dwarf Fortress file. That's awesome. Maybe at the end of the stream? Okay, if you start doing that stream before the end of my stream, then we can raid you after. For anyone who's watching live, if you don't know what Dwarf Fortress is, if I raid him, if he ends up being live when we go off air and I raid him, it might look a little weird at first, where it's like, what's going on? It's like all this ASCII art that's hard to see. Even if you don't understand what's going on visually, stay for the story, because it's great. It's one of those, it's like RimWorld, where people come out of the game with great stories, because like just talking about your colony, like it's basically like a randomized story generator where you're building a base, you're naming people after people in the chat, you get invested in your characters as they live and they die, and you see what happens to them, you know? It's one of those. Like, Truth, you might know this. It says it on the title screen of RimWorld, but I always forget exactly what it is. Tynan Sylvester, the guy who made RimWorld, he doesn't call it a game necessarily. Like, he acknowledges it is clearly a game, but he refers to it as like, I think it's like a randomized story generator or something. What was the tagline for RimWorld again, everybody? Do you guys remember? Because it's a really, really great tagline that explains the appeal of games like that very accurately. Can you do another challenge video on YouTube? Yeah, I do one every single Saturday. In fact, every single challenge video, at the end, I say what the next challenge video will be and when it comes out. Sci-fi colony storyteller? No, I think it was something different from that. I do remember instead of having difficulties, it has storytellers, yes. Well, no, it has storytellers and difficulties. Nowadays, at least. Alright, I gotta go heal again. Oh, right. Forgot about him. He doesn't actually fight us here. What do you think are the longest Pokemon game? I don't know. You can never get into RimWorld, it seems intimidating to you? Trust me, you could get into it. If you think it's cool to watch and cool to hear about, you can get into it. Like, the most intimidating game in the world to get into that still sounds really cool is Dwarf Fortress, and I got into it. It's stuff like Dwarf Fortress, it's stuff like Crusader Kings 2. They look super daunting, but I hear people all the time say, like, it seems so cool to, like, get into, but it's too daunting. Trust me. It's hard at first, but a few hours in, you will start to get the hang of it. Ever played Crystal Clear? Nope. What challenge are you gonna do this time? Again, at the end of every single challenge, I say what the next one is gonna be. But Pokemon Red won Ghastly. Gen 2 is one of the worst rivals? I thought he's one of the best rivals. Probably the best? Debatably. Debatably the best rival. Looking forward to Gen 3 with trade-only Pokemon. Yeah, I still have to do that at some point. I think that'd be a fun one. That'd be a really hard one. Probably should start up your DF game soon. Well, why don't you make your world ahead of time and then start the stream with the actual beginning? You know? Ever played and Pokemon fan games wrong? Yeah, I did a challenge video on a ROM hack. Dragon Ball Z Team Training. That's the plan? Good idea. Alright, gotta heal again. I'm really trying to level up this Drowsy for the next gym. If not a good rival, Silver has the best music. He does have... I might like blues music more, I'm not sure about that. You inspired me a lot, thank you. Alright, we have one more trainer up here to fight, then I might buy some milk. I don't remember what the ratio is. I just checked, it's Rimworld, a story generator by Tyne and Sylvester. Yeah, that's a good way to put the game, it's a story generator. You like the other rivals because they feel more like an actual rival instead of someone who just shows up and is a jerk to you? That's my problem with all the rivals from 3 onwards, is they're not your rival, they're just your friend. There's no sense of competition between me and most of them, other than maybe Charon, but even then I don't particularly find Charon to come across as a rival. He just comes across as too much of a friend. Whereas Blue, you know, people remember Blue being a dick, but that's just because in the show Gary was kind of a dick. Blue in the actual games is not really that much of a jerk to you. He comes across as a guy that you kind of know in passing and you're competing with, but he's not outwardly mean to you in any way. He's actually somewhat friendly. It seems like he's joking around with you a bit. Barry is not a rival as far as I'm concerned. And then in Gen 2, he is definitely a rival. And he's actually an interesting character because he's awful and he's a criminal and he's 100% a bad guy, and yet he's still against Team Rocket. It's not the lazy thing of he's just full on a bad guy. He has his own motivations. And in the end, when you best him the final time, you see him training all the time and he's starting to get better and clean up his act a bit. And that's cool, he has a character arc. Do you play any Blizzard games? I'm a lifelong Blizzard fan, but I haven't played any Blizzard games recently because the Hong Kong Blitzchung thing. I don't want to get into it super deep, but just because I don't like getting super into politics on the stream and stuff. But I have family who lives in Hong Kong, and I'm a big supporter of the Hong Kong protests, so I am very, very disappointed in Blizzard right now. Right, I gotta feed it berries and stuff. I never remember how this works. Did you put an Ampharos on your team? I have not currently, but I could. Looking forward to more Hearts of Iron 4? Me too. What happened with Blizzard? We are not getting into it on this stream, sorry. Oh, right, we're out of berries. What am I doing? Mint berry! I don't remember if that counts. I think it might just be regular berries. We'll see. Gen 1 versus the remakes, which are better? The remakes. Gen 1 is a buggy-ass game. Horrifically buggy. I love Gen 1 for nostalgia, but it is so unbelievably glitchy. Like, I can't do a Gen 1 challenge without ripping on the glitches. Like, every playthrough I do, I find a new glitch. Did you know that if Rap hits a ghost Pokemon, it will do no damage because it's normal type, but then it still stun locks you for multiple turns, doing no damage over and over? So it has missed you, and yet it binds you, and you cannot attack. Fucking Gen 1, man. It makes no sense. Favorite and least favorite gym leader? I have no idea. Wait, no, it is this place, right? This guy's the fishing rod guy? No, that's the trade guy. Hey, local Fox Girl, thanks for following. Welcome to the vlog. Hope you enjoy the stream. Can't wait until I'm not sick anymore. Good lord, day 15. Oh. Favorite gym leader? I don't really have a favorite gym leader. Rock's cool. I like him in the anime. At least you can get a Mew in Gen 1. Yeah, through one of its many glitches. Through a shockingly easy glitch, may I say. Very, very easy glitch to get Mew. You can get Mew before you even beat Misty, if I remember right. Kirk is the kind of guy you want to grab a donut with. That's a good reference. I can dig it. Ooh, that was a good neck crack. Yeah, with an Abra, yeah, that's the fastest way to do it. Anything, like Fly works too, but obviously you get that later in the game, so Abra is probably the best way to do it. Earthbound or Super Mario RPG? Oh, that's apples to oranges. I can't compare those two. They're both wonderful. I might put the shiny Gyarados on my team, just because a Gyarados on the team would be really useful. What am I doing? I think we're ready to kill a few trainers. We're ready to beat a few trainers in this gym. I don't think we're ready for Morty yet, but we'll see how we end up. Yeah, there's a few places where you can set up that glitch, but the earliest is just past Nugget Bridge, that trainer to the left, where you have to like walk down into his vision. Well, got paralyzed immediately, that's fun. Fun fact, in Gen 1 Lick doesn't work on psychic types. So here's something fun about Gen 1, because Gen 1 doesn't work. Ghost type is really buggy in Gen 1. So even though trainers in the game say that ghosts are good against psychic, they're not. The only regular damaging ghost move in the game is Lick. It does not work on psychic types or normal types. Normal type was intended though. Then you have Nightshade, which in other generations doesn't work on normal types. In this, it works on normal types and psychic types. But it obviously can't be super effective, because it's fixed damage. And then there's Confuse Ray, which is Ghost and works on both psychic and normal. So there's 3 Ghost moves in all of Gen 1. Only 1 is regular damage. And all of the Pokemon who can learn it and use it are not physical attackers, even though Ghost is physical in Gen 1. So the only thing you can get the Stab, the same type attack bonus on, are Pokemon that are terrible with it, and it doesn't work on the only type that you would want it for. So it's just, God, it's crap in so many ways. Look, if you're gonna bother getting like a Ghastly or something, just get the TM for Psychic and give that to it. It's a really good move. Give it like Thunderbolt and Psychic and stuff like that, because there are good moves that you can teach it. Like Thunderbolt on a Ghastly is really strong. You thought Stab didn't exist until Gen 2 or 3? I'm pretty sure it's in 1. I don't know 100% on that now that I think about it, but I'm like 99% sure it's in Gen 1. Yeah, it's in Gen 1. I remember that being written about in the game guide for it back in the day. Ran immediately into a sign. Some people think that Gen 1 doesn't have double type effectiveness. It does. Some people think that in Gen 1 there aren't dual types, which blows my mind because in the game you can go in the status screen of any Pokemon you've caught and it has Type 1, Type 2, which is just, how do people not know there's dual? Like, I've been called an idiot for saying that for saying something was double super effective in Gen 1. They're like, you're an idiot. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. There aren't dual types in Gen 1. And I'm like, my response was, Bulbasaur, Pokemon number 1 in the Pokédex, is grass and poison, including in Gen 1. And I literally like show it on screen. Every bird type is a dual, every flying type in the whole game is a dual type. There's no mono flying type until Gen 5. Don't paralyze me. Slowing down the Let's Play. Yeah, the only reason why people seem to believe that there are no dual types in Gen 1 is because there's a glitch in Gen 1 where it sometimes displays the wrong text for super effective and not very effective. Like, if a Pokemon has one type that makes them weak to something and another type that makes them resist it, so it just does normal damage, in other Pokemon games it just wouldn't say anything special because it equals out to normal damage. But in Gen 1, it would call that super effective. Or not very effective. I think it's based on whatever the second type is. It's either first or second type. But the damage you take is correct. The only thing that's incorrect is the sound effect and the text. The actual number of damage you take is correct. So yeah, fun fact. God, I feel like crap today. I don't know what's going on. A little bit lightheaded. I think that's not a ghost specialist in E4. She's poison. I hear people say that, but the people who I think it's a joke mostly, because if people are genuinely arguing that, I think that's a really stupid argument to make. Yes, all of her Pokemon happen to be poison type, but does that also make Morty, does that also make Morty a poison specialist? No, it's literally only because there's one ghost evolution line, so they also threw in an Arbok. You forgot Tangela, but can you blame? Yeah, there is one grass type that's solo grass, and that's Tangela, but Tangela was terrible in Gen 1. The only thing it had going for it is it had the powders, and those are pretty useful to have. Yeah, Paris is I really like Paris as a Pokemon, but the grass bug combo, it does make you double weak to a lot. Oh, what was I doing? I forgot you had to go across first. Wow, I need to stop looking at the chat, Jesus. I just timed that one out badly, sorry. There we go. Tangela's pretty tanky, reasonably, but in Gen 1, it's just terrible. It barely does any damage. I think it's fast. That's like the only thing it has going for it. It's fast and it has the powders, but there's better stuff you could get if you want a grass type. Plus, solo grass type, not very useful in Gen 1. Gen 1 poison type is very, very common. You love the intro music to medium battles? Me too. And my head's feeling a little weird. I don't know why. Did I eat something that's not agreeing with me? Maybe. Haven't eaten much today. Like, not like I've not eaten enough and that's why I'd be lightheaded. I've had plenty. What I mean is like I haven't overeaten and nothing I ate is something particularly out of the normal for me. Everything tasted normal. I don't know, I feel a little bit lightheaded right now. Weird. You could sweep 70% of Gen 1 with Kadabra? No, you could sweep 100% of Gen 1 with Kadabra. In Gen 1, Psychic type was ridiculously overpowered. The only thing super effective against Ghost was Bug, and there were only 3 attacking Bug moves, I think. And they were pretty obscure and not very good. Really, the only way to beat Psychic types in Gen 1 is just completely outmuscle them. But Kadabra was ridiculous because in Gen 1, your crit chance was based on base speed, and Kadabra's got really high base speed, so he'd critical hit like crazy. Go take a nap? God, no. Naps fuck me up. So he had a really high crit chance, he had really strong moves, special stat, there wasn't special attack and special defense, it was just special. And so he had really high special attack and defense, essentially. Really fast, really high crit chance, learned recover so he could heal his health. Like, he was a ridiculous Pokemon. One of the best in the game by far. Okay, I'm definitely not ready for Morty, so let's go fight some other stuff. Pin Missile, Twin Needle, and what's the last bug move? String Shot, but that's not a damaging move. I think there's one more? You know what, that might be it. It might just be Pin Missile and Twin Needle. Nothing else is coming to mind. Leech Life, thank you. That's what it was. We could teach Drowsy Flash, because we're going to use him for the gym anyway. And we don't need 4 moves. Like, we're never going to use Pound. It's just not going to happen. Oh, right, we never got Flash. Let's go get Flash.